we have made record progress since the inception of the Organized Retail Crime Task Force. We have successfully dismantled several large-scale, statewide organized crime operations. Since 2019, the CHP has been involved in recovering over $45 million in stolen merchandise and the apprehension of nearly 3,000 individuals involved in organized retail crime. While our relentless pursuit of organized retail crime continues to yield great results, we owe a big part of our success to the strong existing partnerships we have with our allied agencies, loss prevention experts, and retailers, such as Home Depot here. Thank you for hosting us, Home Depot. The CHP appreciates the support of Gavin Newsom and this new legislation to help law enforcement in our fight against organized retail crime. With that, I'd like to introduce Assemblymember Mark Berman of the 23rd Assembly District.
Thank you, Captain Oliver. I'm Assemblymember Mark Berman. I represent the 23rd Assembly District, a little bit northwest of here. And first, I want to thank Speaker Rivas, President Pro Tem McGuire, Governor Newsom, our partners in public safety, and also our partners in the business community. We all came together as a team to try to draft thoughtful policies to address the retail theft and crime surge that we have in California. In recent years, the Bay Area has experienced the largest increase in shoplifting rates in California. San Mateo County, which is one of the counties that I represent, saw shoplifting rates increase 53% between 2019 and 2022. But this isn't just happening in the Bay Area. The rise in retail theft and crime is a growing issue throughout California. Theft not only hurts our businesses, it hurts our communities too. No one should feel unsafe buying eggs at the grocery store, or picking up their monthly prescription at the pharmacy, or getting tools at a hardware store like Home Depot. No worker should feel fear while helping someone at checkout, or restocking the shelves, or taking inventory at the end of a shift. And everyone hurts when they see their favorite local mom and pop store close up shop for the last time due to theft and crime. I'm proud to stand here with my colleagues as we pass solutions to protect everyone, from large retailers to small businesses to our hardworking employees and our everyday shoppers. One of those solutions is my bill, AB 3209, which creates a first-of-its-kind retail crime restraining order for theft, vandalism, or battery of an employee within the store. This common-sense solution adds a needed enforcement tool to combat organized and repeated retail theft. I again want to thank all of our partners, and it's my honor to introduce Senator Nancy Skinner.
Thank you so much, Senator Nancy Skinner. I'm just from the north of here in the Oakland, Berkeley, Richmond area. We've had our share, obviously, of these crimes. And I was happy to first time take BART all the way to Berryessa today. It was great. Anyway, thank you, Captain Oliver, CHP, our other law enforcement partners, AG Bonta, and others for the great work you're doing in the Organized Retail Theft Task Force. It has managed to bring down some of these rings, and what we're about today is trying to bring down more of them. And with respect, appreciate Assemblymember Berman's comments, but I don't refer to it as just shoplifting. You know, most shoplifters are a whole nother category of people. What we're talking about is well-organized, large operations, not petty thieves. And in the state Senate, we know that organized retail theft affects every community in California and every kind of business. Operations that we're talking about are the kind like the one run by that couple in San Diego, which our task force took down along with the FBI. And that couple who lived in a dream mansion, they literally hired people. And then they would text, now I'm sure they didn't give them a W-2, but whatever. And they would text them the list of stuff that they wanted the people to steal from Sephora or wherever. And that was evidence that was brought. And they reaped millions of dollars selling those goods and selling them online. To stop these kind of operations, we have to take the right steps, not just any steps, the right steps, evidence-based and results-oriented. and evidence-based and results-oriented is the core of the Senate's approach in the bills that Governor Newsom will be signing today. Let me just mention them. SB 905 by Senator Scott Wiener closes the locked door loophole on automotive property thefts. SB 982 by Senator Aisha Wahab makes existing law on organized retail theft permanent. My bill, SB 1144, will stop the sale of stolen goods on online marketplaces, closing down the pipeline that retail crime ring operators like that couple in San Diego relied on. SB 1416 by Senator Josh Newman cracks down on professional, large-scale retail theft and resale schemes, and SB 1242 by Senator Dave Min imposes tougher penalties on those who start fires to engage in retail theft. And mind you, in a Home Depot very close by here, a fire was set during a robbery, damaging the store and endangering shoppers and workers. We know that retail theft has consequences big and small, physical and financial, and we know we have to take the right steps in order to stop it without returning to the days of mass incarceration. And I want to thank my colleagues, our legislative leaders. Thank you, Governor, for signing these bills and taking those right steps for enacting evidence-based and results-oriented strategies that will curb organized retail theft. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ron Fong. I'm President and CEO of the California Grocers Association, and it's my great pleasure this morning to speak on behalf of the California grocery industry to recognize the significant energy, policy ideas, resources that Governor Newsom and our legislative leaders have dedicated to curtailing retail theft. Today, we see these efforts come to a fruition with new laws that we believe will seriously help our industry. Grocery stores sit at the center of our communities. They nourish our neighborhoods. They anchor the brick and mortar retail environments that power local economies and give Californians a sense of place. But in recent years, retail theft reached new and unacceptable levels. It really became the #1 worry of all of our grocery operators. How do I keep my employees safe and my customers safe when they come into the store, as well as how do I keep my doors open amidst heavy losses? In the face of all these worrying trends, Governor Newsom has been a stalwart and common sense leader standing against retail theft. From his organized retail theft task force that we just heard about to pursuing this bill package he's going to sign today, it's clear that the governor does not shrink from serious challenges. I want to thank the governor and our legislative leaders today and congratulate him on today's achievement. I also want to acknowledge legislative leaders that we have here today, like our Speaker, Senator McGuire, Assemblymember Zabur, our Attorney General, amongst many others who have pursued rigorous and bold action to deter retail theft. The grocery industry stands with you and is heartened by the effort that you've made to protect our employees, our stores, our customers. Thank you. And now, Rachel Michelin from the California Retailers Association.
Thank you. Good morning. Rachel Michelin. I'm the president and CEO for the California Retailers Association. Wow. All I can say is thank you. Thank you, Speaker Rivas, Pro Tem McGuire, Governor Newsom. You know, we've been working on this issue for a number of years. This package is going to be instrumental in curbing retail theft and organized retail crime in California. And this is why. This package of bills came from retailers. I came to leadership. I said, here is what we need to help us curtail this happening in our stores. And they listened. And we worked together. We worked collaboratively. And I will say I was able to rethink the way I approached this issue. I think I was able to have them rethink how they approach this issue. We brought in stakeholders from all different areas, people who might have been on different sides of this issue. We worked collaboratively on 10 bills that are going to impact different aspects of retail theft. We just didn't focus on one or two things that we tried 10, 15 years ago. We looked forward on what we need today, looking to the future of where retail theft is headed. So we're looking at multi-jurisdictional prosecution. We're looking at retail theft restraining orders. We're looking at different issues around probable cause, going after repeat offenders, going after the boosters they're selling to. All of these things in this package is going to help retailers, law enforcement, and district attorneys be able to provide the consequences for the behaviors that we need to make sure people don't continue doing this behavior, which is what we've always wanted to do. You know, retailers have never been about mass incarceration or that type of mentality. We've always wanted to be part of the solution. And I just really want to say thank you. You know, Speaker Rivas, I said this multiple times, you changed the dialogue when you appointed the Retail Theft Select Committee. That changed the conversation in the Capitol. Mr. McGuire, you brought me in. We've had multiple conversations. The two of you produced. And I will tell you, I took a lot of hits. A lot of people told me this day would never happen. Rachel, you're crazy. The legislature will never do this. The governor will never sign this. And I said, nope, I'm telling you, they will do this. And I'm so proud to stand here today. And Governor Newsom, the governor has been our greatest advocate for years now on retail theft and organized retail crime. When we have needed his help, he has made sure those task forces have stayed operational. He extended the sunset. He made sure we had permanent funding through his real public safety plan. He extended them from 3 to 5. He provided dedicated prosecutors. He has made this a national model. I get calls from all over the country about what we're doing in California because the work the CHP is doing is so instrumental in combating organized retail crime. So thank you to all three of you and to every single one of you who authored a bill, who I worked with. You met with our members, you toured our stores. You are making a huge difference in making sure our employees are safe, our customers are safe, and the neighborhoods we operate in are safe as well. But this also was one of our great partners was Attorney General Rob Bonta. We had many conversations about this. You've been out to talk to our Cal Orca group and our asset protection professionals, and I have the distinct honor of introducing the Attorney General, who's also been an incredible partner for us on combating organized retail crime in the state. Attorney General.
Good morning, everyone. Rob Bonta, California Attorney General. Excited to be here with this incredible group of leaders. Time and time again, the people of California have been loud and clear that organized retail crime is a top priority and a top concern. They are worried, they are fed up, and they want and are demanding solutions. This is the collective leadership of California saying, we agree, we hear you, we're fed up, and we are delivering solutions. And I want to say thank you to this incredible group for their thoughtful approach to solutions, to the deliberative process, to identifying the challenges within our collective efforts, for bringing in the voices of community groups and business and industry leaders, law enforcement, and elected leaders, all working together to solve a problem. And together, what we are providing to the people of California today is a group of bills that sharpen our ability to crack down on organized retail theft, to protect our communities and our businesses, to hold perpetrators accountable. We know, and it is common sense, that no worker should be afraid for their own safety when they clock in for a shift. We know that no consumer should be afraid to shop at their favorite retail store. And no business owner should be afraid of what might happen to their business in the middle of business hours or when they lock up their business at night. And so, again, it's the collaboration between our great governor, our leaders in both houses, our Pro Tem McGuire and Speaker Rivas, all the legislators over here who took responsibility to help solve this problem and introduced a solution that was part of an aggregate delivery of action to the state of California. This is showing that we're a united front here in California when it comes to our leadership, that when we roll up our sleeves and put our heads down and address and confront a problem, we can deliver a solution. And again, I'm very proud of what we've accomplished today. The tools that these bills will provide for more cracking down on organized retail crime, more accountability, more people being brought to justice. And so I think the collective message is clear. If you ransack our stores, if you attack our people, if you endanger our communities, we will come for you. Thank you. And with that, it's my pleasure to introduce our great speaker of the California State Assembly, Rob Rivas.
Well, thank you to our Attorney General for his incredible work. He and his team, his department, and appreciate him being here with all of us this morning. And this morning, I have a message for criminal gangs. Gangs who, as we know, have brazenly been preying on our stores, on our workers, and on our communities. Your time is up. If you break these laws, you will pay the price. It is that simple. And I have a message for law-abiding Californians. You all spoke, and we listened, and help is on the way. These new laws, they give our cities, they give our counties, our courts, and law enforcement the tools that they need to clean up our streets and to keep stores safe from theft. And getting here, as has been emphasized, it was not easy, but it was urgent. And when I came in as speaker a little over a year ago, I heard it loud and clear from my colleagues, constituents, residents all across California. They were tired of the shocking smash and grabs. They're tired of products in our retail stores being locked up. They want law-abiding citizens, not criminals, to make the rules. And so I acted quickly to create this Assembly Committee on Retail Theft. Assembly members, both Democrats and Republicans, who came together on this from all across our state, representing all parts of our state. I deeply, deeply appreciate their work, and particularly the commitment of our committee chair, who unfortunately could not be here with us this morning, Rick Chavez-Zabur. And this committee, they really did their research. They did their work. They engaged community advocates, law enforcement, local leaders, grocers, retailers, and workers who all helped shape these new laws. I thank them for their time, their testimony, and their expertise. Good public policy is hard, hard work. And the best outcomes for California come from collaboration and from compromise. And as we know this because history has shown that one-sided laws do more harm than good. But these laws that the governor is going to sign this morning, they create new and serious consequences for people who steal or shoplift repeatedly. And they address other crimes, including car break-ins and cargo theft. Unfortunately, we know that some people steal because they are food insecure, because they're in dire poverty or have behavioral health issues. The Assembly, the legislature, the governor, the Attorney General, we are all certainly committed to not going backwards on important criminal justice reforms. But these new laws account for all of that. They keep diversion programs front and center for prosecutors and require courts to consider alternative rehabilitation. That's good news. We have to get this right. That is always our goal. Our mission and our approach was we had to get this right. So my Democratic colleagues who are here this morning, my Democratic colleague from this region, I live just south of here, he lives just north of here, Assemblymember Mark Berman. I want to thank Mark for his tenacity, his dedication, and his smarts that he brought to this bill that he authored. I want to thank and recognize Assemblymember Pilar Chavo, who is here with us this morning, for her partnership and hard work as a member of the committee. And to our colleague from across the aisle, Assemblymember Juan Alanis, for finding common ground and working with us to deliver results. And to our governor, I want to thank him for his partnership to get us, to work with us to get these bills done. I want to thank his incredible staff, in particular his chief of staff, for leading the way. The governor, as we all know, is not afraid to tackle tough issues. And I appreciate you very much, Mr. Governor, and everything you're doing for our state, as a colleague, as a constituent, and as a friend. Same goes for our pro tem, who I want to invite up here to share some words. But again, this is just the beginning. And certainly we have a lot of work ahead, and certainly look forward to doing that work with both the governor, the pro tem, and our legislative colleagues, and all of the stakeholders and partners we've been working with. Mr. Pro Tem.
Good morning. How's everybody doing? Thank you all for joining us. We are grateful. Californians have been calling on state leaders to take action on retail crime. And today we're doing just that. A promise was made by the legislature and the governor earlier this year that we would pass sweeping legislation to crack down on retail theft, to be able to blunt local crime, and to be able to stop professional thieves, stop them in their tracks. And this morning, we're going to give local law enforcement the tools they need to be able to do their jobs, keeping retail establishments safe. We're giving Californians the laws that they rightfully deserve and, let's be candid, have been asking for. The new laws that the governor will be signing today will increase penalties on organized retail theft, advance strategic enhancement on stolen goods, both online as well as those that are stolen in mom and pop shops in every corner of this state. And we're closing gaps on loopholes for automobile theft. Here's the bottom line about today. Californians, they can breathe a sigh of relief now that these laws will be in place. But we also know we have to remain vigilant. There's much more work to do. We have to continue to invest in the public's safety. That's why, working with the governor, the Senate and the Assembly, invested $1.1 billion since 2019 to tackle crime, hire more law enforcement, and to dispatch CHP to target local crime hotspots in each and every community. So mark my word, there's much more to come. I want to take a moment to say thank you to the senators who were instrumental in bringing forward this effort. First and foremost, I owe a special thank you to Aisha Wahab. She is our public safety chair. She has done a phenomenal job in a very difficult position, and I want to say thank you so much, Madam Chair. To Senator Skinner, who is truly the dean of the Senate and does such phenomenal work and has dedicated her career to good public service, thank you. Senator Wiener is always out front and ready to tackle the tough issues, as many of you know. And I want to say thank you so much, Senator Wiener. It's wonderful to see you. To the home district Senator Cortese, who has been a stalwart on issues of public safety since his time on the council and board of supervisors. And also to Senator Min and Senator Newman, who cannot be here today, but I want to say thank you for their incredible work over this past year. I want to say how grateful I am to work with Speaker Rivas each and every day. For his partnership, I'm grateful to call him a friend and an ally, and it would not have been without his leadership that we would end up here at this Home Depot about to sign these bills. To A.G. Bonta, for his laser focus. His laser focus as the state's top prosecutor. We are grateful to have him where he's at. I want to say thank you to the women and men of law enforcement in this state for committing to keep our communities safe. And we owe a special thanks today and gratitude to the California Retailers Association and the Grocers Association for seeing the passage of these bills through, no matter thick and thin. We are grateful for their partnership. And finally, to Governor Newsom. If you were to talk to Governor Newsom, he will tell you time and time again how personal this issue is for him. He wants to get this damn deal done, and this day couldn't come soon enough. He has been asking the Speaker and myself, when are we going to get these bills across the finish line? Mr. Governor, right off of aisle 9, we're about to do it right now. And with Governor Newsom's action, along with the legislature, we're sending a loud and clear signal to criminals. You are not welcome here in the Golden State. Mr. Governor, this would not have happened without you. We're grateful for your leadership. Can we please give it up to Governor Gavin Newsom?
Thank you, Senator McGuire. Thank you to all the elected officials. Thank you to all the leaders assembled, those that were mentioned, those that are here, those in abstention, like Assemblymember Zabir, who are critical to advancing these 10 critical bills. Let me just pick up a little bit without repeating too much of what has been said as it relates to this package of bills. I'll be signing 10 bills today on retail theft, property theft, and auto theft. These bills will strengthen existing laws, they'll enhance other laws, and they will address the challenges that are well outside the purview of previous initiatives and laws like Prop 47, and that's the issue of organized retail theft, the issue of serial theft, the issue that is front and center in the consciousness of so many Californians. You see it online, social media, you see it on the nightly news. This goes to the heart of the issue, and it does it in a thoughtful and judicious way. And it does so in the spirit that defines the remarks, in partnership. We're blessed to be here with Sheriff Johnson. We're blessed to be here with DA Rosen. We're blessed to be here with Rachel and Ron representing the retailers and the grocers. We simply could not have been here without their support and their stewardship. This is the real deal. Grocers and the retailers understand that. No one more instrumental, by the way, than Rachel and the retailers. They sat down, as she said, I just want to pick up on what she said and validate it. She said, this is what we need. This is what we're experiencing every day. Ron, the same thing with the grocers. And the legislature worked diligently across the aisle in a bipartisan manner to advance these bills. And this, as the pro tem and speaker said, is the beginning of a process. It's not the end of a process. We're still working on a number of other bills. We still have more work to do more broadly in this space, but this is a demonstrable advancement of that collective effort. And I just want to reinforce, and we'll get to Q&A, and I'll sign these bills first. We didn't just wake up to this issue. As the Attorney General noted, who was with us on multiple occasions, announcing new initiatives and new strategies. Back in 2020, in 2021, we have been hard at work to address these issues. It was just noted the $1.1 billion of additional new resources targeted in this space, $267 million just last year. You can ask the district attorney. $2,050,000 that specifically went into his work. The sheriff, $11.7 million that was directed specifically to advance Sheriff Johnson's work. Across this state, we've been working on prosecution, vertical prosecution investigations. We've been working on advancing and enhancing technology to address the issue of retail theft. The captain began this press conference on the work that the CHP continues to do, not just in terms of the state task forces that were advanced and enhanced over the last number of years, but working with local regional task forces. 884 arrests so far just this year. The captain referenced 2,900 arrests since 2019 in the initiation of their enhanced efforts on retail theft. 850,000 items recovered, the tens of millions of dollars that he referenced. enhanced and advanced those efforts over the course of the last few years. I appreciate, and we're humbled by Rachel's comments, that California has been providing, interestingly, despite what I read and hear often, a national model in this space in terms of actually trying to address these issues that are universal all across the United States of America. You wouldn't know that based upon some commentary. You'd think they were unique here. What is, though, unique here, I think, is the approach we're taking to get serious about these issues. And so I want to end by thanking the last two speakers in particular. The speaker himself and the pro tem. They created the conditions, they created the energy, and they created a pathway because of their resolve and commitment to get this done. As they suggested, you read between the lines. If you didn't, you should have. This is tough stuff, some of this, you know. The issues of aggregation, issues of cross-jurisdictional issues, the issues of probable cause, issues that often are delayed, sometimes denied. None of them were in this case in terms of the package. That's why there are 10 bills in this space and more work continuing to be done. So, Mr. Speaker, thank you. The pro tem, thank you to AG Bonta and the new organized investigated unit that he put together at Department of Justice a few years ago. Thank you to all of our incredible partners. Thank you to the legislative leaders. Gratitude and appreciation for getting this done. With that, these are the actual bills. So I want to get to them, and then we're happy to open up and answer any questions. Thank you all very much.
Sometimes they're fake.
Again, I just want to thank everybody for their hard work. As I say often, program passing is not problem solving. Signing a bill doesn't solve a problem. It's the hard work that comes over the course of the next weeks and months to deliver on what we're promoting and promising. And we're very mindful of that. And I should just note, just building on what was said, we continue in this endeavor, but we continue with unprecedented resources. We've never had the resources in this space to actually deliver on what we just advanced today. And I want to just, again, if I didn't say it to begin with, captains here, but the CHP has just been magical in this space and has done a remarkable job. And I want to thank the legislature for supporting 1,000 new CHP officers. We've been enhancing the ranks of law enforcement in this state. We've been increasing funding for law enforcement in this state. And the CHP has been the tip of the spear in so many of these efforts. With that, happy to answer questions.
Good morning, Governor. Good to see you. Annabelle Sosa with the LA Times. So this morning, the LA Times and UC Berkeley came out with a poll that said that found that a majority of likely California voters will support Proposition 36. So I want to ask about that ballot measure. In light of being in San Jose, the mayor of the city this week announced his support for Prop 36. And he said that Prop 36, he was focusing on the idea of mass treatment as opposed to mass incarceration. And so I want to talk about that. He said Prop 36 and Prop 1, in fact, perfectly align with each other, and that some people who are sentenced to the mandated treatment under Prop 36 would be housed in some Prop 1 funded facilities. So my question for you is, what do you have to say about the fact that Prop 36, if passed, could potentially work in tandem with Prop 1? Is that something that you can acknowledge or comment on?
Well, I can't acknowledge something that is misleading at best, factually wrong, as the author of Prop 1, as someone intimately familiar with Proposition 36. Prop 36 takes us back to the 1980s, the war on drugs, mass incarceration. It promotes a promise that can't be delivered. I would ask those that support it, particularly mayors, where are the treatment slots? Where are the beds? There are 22 counties in the state of California. This is not a local initiative. Prop 36. It's a statewide initiative. 22 counties don't have one residential treatment facility. 22 counties don't have one. I mean, they're lying to you. They're lying to you. That initiative has nothing to do with retail theft. This has everything to do with retail theft. That initiative is about going back to the 1980s and the war on drugs. It's about mass incarceration. And don't take my word for it. Look at the independent legislative analyst who said it will cost billions and billions of dollars. Not $1 is attached to Prop 36, not one. Any of you that are fiscally conservative, you should be screaming from the rafters. Not a dollar associated with the initiative. Can you imagine what's going to happen in the courts? Not $1 to support the courts. You got backlogs already. Compare that to the work all these folks did behind me on Care Court. A multi-year collaborative process, working with the Judicial Council, working with our partners, a pilot phase-in before it went to full implementation, $81 million that was set aside in the general fund specifically to support the courts, and a process and protocol that actually can deliver on the promise. Compare that to the ready, fire aim of Prop 36 that cannot be changed without going back to the voters. I hope folks take the time to really reflect on it. I want to move this state forward. I don't want to move us backwards. So I respectfully, completely reject that premise as factually inaccurate and misleading in a charitable sense at best.
Thank you.
All righty, Mr. Governor, good morning. It's Eitan Wallace with Nexstar Media across the state of California. So you mentioned, and I was trying to write it all down here, just since 2019, there's been 2,900 arrests. You said 850,000 items recovered. I know you mentioned other stats. I'm sorry, I need to still go look back.
Forgive me, 884. We can go through all that. I'll give you a fact sheet.
Well, let me ask you, going forward in the sense of these 10 retail theft bills today, quantitatively or whatever it might be, what to you will be a success 6 months down the line, 2 years, 5 years down the line, and what will not? Also, want to keep it on retail theft. I know 72 hours from now, everybody's going to be also talking about DNC. What is your role going to be there? What are you looking forward to? What are you not looking forward to?
I appreciate it. Well done sneaking that in. Look, success is smashing these retail theft rings. Success is breaking them apart. Success is holding our third parties accountable. I appreciate what Senator Skinner said. It's really important what she said as it relates to what's happened. People are going out there with a menu telling people what to steal so that they can sell on third-party platforms, but those third-party platforms have no accountability, no responsibility. Do they ever question how something, a brand new product, can be sold for half the price on their platforms? There has to be some accountability. Because of the legislation I just signed, there will be accountability. The opportunity, again, to aggregate. This has been a big issue, the notion of aggregation. You have a crime's done in one jurisdiction, another jurisdiction, a crime that wasn't witnessed by law enforcement, so it's hard to prove, the DAs are handcuffed. All of that gets eliminated in the context of addressing the serial nature of crimes. What's happening with car break-ins and Senator Wiener's outstanding legislation in that space. So look, I don't want to over-promise short-term. I mean, we just signed these bills, takes time. These things to move forward and go in effect. Meanwhile, unprecedented investments and investigations are ongoing. We're flooding the zone with the work we're doing in the task forces and the support we provided local law enforcement all across the state of California. But we want to see this significantly reduced, and we want to hold people accountable, period, full stop. As it relates to the DNC, I'll be there I guess I could get in Monday night, and we'll be there for the week, and you'll be sick of me by Thursday.
Good morning, Governor. Travis Gilmore with the Epoch Times. Law enforcement tells us there's a direct correlation between drug addiction and retail theft. Do these bills address this root issue? And also, what happened to the urgency clause that was initially crafted into these bills a little bit in the midway point?
No, I appreciate the latter part of the question. I'll ask the expert. We can get the experts behind me as it relates to legislative sausage making. Look, one of the principal concerns I have about Prop 36, forgive me for going back, but it's related to your question, and it's a way of pivoting, is Prop 36 actually takes money from one of the most effective components of Prop 47, which is the $100 or so million a year, 95 last year to be exact, that goes to drug treatment and goes to victims' services, goes to address some of those underlying issues as you reflect that cause and effect associated with retail theft. It actually redirects those dollars. It takes it away, which is remarkable in and of itself that hasn't been highlighted more. We signed 10 bills, but this legislature has done unprecedented work to address underlying issues as it relates to poverty and ignorance and disease. We don't have enough time to regale all of the substantive work that's first in the nation to substantively address those issues. And meaningfully, we've done that as it relates to the work we've done in the homelessness and housing space in the last few years to address the poverty component and the addiction and mental health components of those cause and effect concerns as you relate to them. But a lot more work needs to be done. I'm not suggesting otherwise, and a lot more work will be done, and there are subsequent bills that I look forward to landing on my desk and look forward to signing.
Governor.
Thank you.
Hey, Guy Marzorati with KQED. Governor, given everything that's on the ballot this November, to what extent is campaigning against Prop 36 a priority for you? And what do you think your role is going to be in that November?
There are a lot of things that I don't like on the ballot. There are a lot of things I like on the federal ballot, Kamala Harris being one of them. We've got it's what's the capacity to do. Honestly, those that support Prop 36, they'll be accountable for it. I wouldn't want to be on their side of this. You watch this. Watch what happens in the next couple of years. It's such a devastating setback in this state. The impact on poor folks, impact on black and brown communities, it's next level. And it doesn't address what they're saying. I've seen this movie over and over and over again. It's exactly who we're not as a state. And the fact that there's some Democrats, you referenced one, a couple others that are supporting it, I don't know that they've really given it a lot of thought. And I don't mean that as a cheap shot. I mean this sincerely. And I know they'll push back against that, and now you maybe run off with that news story as opposed to the substance of all this. But it really distresses me a little bit. So it goes to your question, what's my involvement? I guess it's this, and I'll be honest, I'm counting on all of you. I mean this sincerely. It's interesting, no one yet has asked about the threshold, Prop 47 threshold. I mean, you had some guy, ex-president yesterday talking about it. It's the 10th toughest in America. I don't see that represented in most of the news. 10th toughest in America. It's interesting, Prop 36 doesn't even include that. If that was the issue, that's what we all wrote about and talked about for 2 years. You'd think that was the entire initiative. They don't even include it. because they know it's not the case. So there's a lot of misinformation, disinformation, and honestly, more than me going out there, I count on you to take an objective look at this. It's serious. Billions and billions of dollars will come from the state. Billions. Where's that? That's cuts in other programs. And you sit here and you'll be reporting something 3 years, oh, there's shortfalls and this and that. You ever wonder why? These things, there's direct cause and effect. So I mean this. I know it's, it's not a process story. I know it's not necessarily a personality story. But boy, it's a story that's well known in this state. We went through this in the 80s. We went through this in the 90s, mass incarceration. And crime was higher, not lower. Things got worse, not better. And I don't want to go back to those days. And that's what that initiative will do.
Hi, Governor. Thanks for taking our questions. I'm Dustin Gardner with Politico. I want to ask you about your conversations with retailers. We're in Home Depot today. Home Depot itself has given more than $1 million to
retailers.
Proposition 36.
Yes. They're here. You may want to ask them, Dustin. Let's come on up, retailers.
Well, but I want to ask you, though.
Well, we can ask.
Have you gotten any commitments they're going to back off their support for the initiative?
This was not. I didn't get in. The answer to your question, I didn't get in any conversations directly with them on the initiative. Period.
Okay. Yeah. What about Rachel, who's right there behind you?
Yeah, that's why I suggested she come.
Thank you. What's the question again?
Yeah, I mean, so your organization has given millions of dollars to support.
No, we have not.
Proposition
CRA has
36.
not. CRA has not as an organization. Individual members have.
Yeah, I mean, do you anticipate the members are going to back off now, the message that you're sending on this?
I can't speak for individual member companies. That's their own decision. But I will say that we are the members I've heard from, and I've heard from a number of them, are very enthusiastic about this package. And as I mentioned, we went to the members. I went to asset protection professionals for the last 3 to 4 years. I have a notebook that I went through and literally went through all of the things they have told me, and that was what was in this package. So I think that in the next few weeks, we're going to continue to have conversations. We have a couple of little things we got to work out in the next 2 weeks of session, and then I think we're going to see where we're going to land. But I think as an association, and I can speak broadly as an association, across the board, this is the most comprehensive package of bills that we have ever seen, and it addresses multiple issues that we have had concerns about. And I think the comprehensiveness, when you look at other proposals out there, they only touch on 1 or 2 things. 1 or 2 things is not going to solve the problem. This comprehensive set of bills really addresses and ticks off so many different aspects of things that we've been looking at and seeing happening in our stores, because we have a diverse set of members. Not all of our members sell the same products, have the same footprint, are like this. Some of them are not big box, some of them are small, some of them are groceries, some of them are online. So this package addresses all of that. So we'll stay tuned and we'll see what happens.
Thank you. One more question for the governor with respect to the mayors, if I could. We're in San Jose. Mayor Mahan is obviously not here today. He's supporting Proposition 36. Just up the peninsula, Mayor London Breed is also supporting Proposition 36. What would you say to the members of your own party who are putting themselves very much out there and saying that what you've done today isn't enough to deal with repeat offenders?
Well, they're an exception. It's not members of my party. It's a couple of exceptions. And I said what I said. You can just go back to what I just said. I don't need to belabor it. I've worked with both these mayors on a multitude of issues. This is not the Democratic Party. It's just a couple members, a couple mayors. That's it. And that is it. My gosh. Well, that's a hell of a thing. Final words. Home Depot, thank you. Thank you for all your support, and thank you for allowing us here today. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you.
You've done the work and deserve credit where credit is due. At University